Welcome to Conscious Cuisine Conversations. And my guest today is my dream guest. When I thought about doing my podcast, I was like, would she be on my podcast? Because I need her. Like, she's everything. So I want to have her introduce herself and
No, you got to
describe.
introduce me because now you talking about I'm your dream guest and stuff. Go ahead.
Okay.
Brag on me.
So I know her as, we're both from Opalaka.
Periods.
Period. I think you're a fabulous, amazing content creator. I love your personality. Like there's content creators out here, but they don't have what you have. Like, I love your personality. Like, seriously, like you're raw, you're uncut, you say it how it is, like you're unfiltered. I love it. Like, I hope you remain that way.
Oh my gosh. You'll make this lash come off.
Oh. So, yeah, I love you, and I just want to give you your flowers because I really do appreciate you being here, and we're going to get into some things. So besides what I know, what else is there that I don't know? I know you rep fam like real hard.
Yes, I'm a FAMU Rattler, October 3rd, 1887. Get into it.
Oh, wow.
Get
You know
into
the
it.
history and
Get into
all.
absolutely the highest of 7 hills, Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, period.
Yes,
and you were
get
just
into
in
it.
Tallahassee.
Yes, for homecoming. I never miss it. Like if I'm in the country, I never miss
And you were
family
a vendor.
homecoming. I was a vendor, yes.
I love that. Like, I've been seeing a lot of like vegan like chefs and influencers like vending at homecoming. Like, that's amazing. Like, vegan options at homecoming tailgating.
It's so important because honestly, there's literally nothing there. Like the past years I've gone, the vegan options have been, there is a guy who sells fruit bowls, like just literally cut up pineapples, watermelon, stuff like that, which is nothing wrong with. There's a young lady who does like cupcakes and stuff, and that is pretty much the extent of the vegan options. And then there's me doing like oxtail and mac and cheese egg rolls and vegan conch fritters and
good.
all of that good stuff. And so it's so much so that like literally last year I went to the fruit guy to get some fruit, and I was like, man, I'm so tired of there like never being any vegan options because, you know, obviously I will say this. It's not that my food is not good. I don't want people to think that, but I've had enough oxtail. You know, when you like work at McDonald's and you're like, I've had enough oxtail and mac and cheese to sustain me for this lifetime and the next. So it's like, you know, I want somebody else's food. And so I was telling the fruit guy, I was like, man, like homecoming is never no vegan options, da da da. And I was just complaining to him about it. And he was like, yeah, it's never nothing, da da da. And there was a girl behind me. She was like, that's not true. Cause it's a girl down there and she got oxtail and mac and cheese, egg rolls, and everything is vegan at her table. I said, I know. I'm her.
Period.
She's me. And
Period.
me is she. Like,
Period.
exactly. So I mean, I love providing that option. It is a lot of work. I'll be very, very transparent about that. It is a lot of physical, grueling, demanding labor, long hours, plus travel included into that. But not only is it so important to have vegan options, not only is it to have quality vegan options at homecoming, because, you know, vegan is the wave like a do-rag. Like everybody is becoming vegan. And on top of that, it is an honor to serve my university. So
I love it. Is it only at FAMU or do you like travel to other homecomings?
I'm considering that for next year. I really, you know, I'm just a rattler. Like it's just such a, I can't even explain. Homecoming is something that just literally engulfs your spirit. Like it's like your family reunion, but only your favorite cousins come.
Yes.
Like you get to see all of these people. And what I love so much about homecoming is you see the fullness of people's blackness. Like I have friends who went to FAMU who work in the White House, who work in the Federal Reserve, who work at, you know, different networks. And of course, you know, in those corporate settings, you have, you know, okay, suit and tie, my hair has to be this way. I'm speaking with this certain diction, you know, code switching. I get to see them, the person that I remember, the fullness of their blackness at homecoming come out. And that just means everything to me. They get to see me and we see how people have grown and evolved, you know, who's been in their corporate career for 10 years, who's made strides. We just did this year, we did FAMU's 40 under 40. So all of the top rattlers who are under 40 years old, people who have started apps, and like I said, people who work in the White House, people who've gotten their doctor's degree in the most, you know, niche area of any type of science or anything like that, excelling and getting all these things, who's gotten married, who's had kids and expanded their family, who's started businesses overseas. There's a FAMU Rattler that has a coffee shop in Tulum, Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're seeing all of these people at homecoming. Like, I have a really good friend who is from and currently lives in Bermuda, who comes all the way from Bermuda in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean to come back to homecoming.
Wow.
So nothing beats that. And it's that feeling of just like hugging the person and you literally feel home, you feel safe. Is no greater feeling. And it's different because so I can rep, Opalaka in one way because that's where I was made. But I always refer to Tallahassee and FAMU as my hometown because that's where I became a woman. That's where I got my first apartment. That's where I first, paid bills. Like, I remember calling my mom and being like, "Mom, bread is $3. Did you?" And she's like, "Yeah, where you been?" I'm like, "Cinnamon Toast Crunch is $5." She's like, "Yeah, girl." I'm like, I don't know. Do I need it that bad?
Yeah.
Or do I need to start scamming?
Oh. So I know you mentioned that you do the vegan vending at the HBCUs, but what made you what introduced you to veganism? What made you want to become a vegan? How did you get into veganism?
It has been a long road, actually. So this year, December 18th, will make my 5th year as a vegan. And I started veganism. So really long ago, this was oh my gosh, 10 years, literally 10 years ago. So, I got out of this horrible relationship and women, we get out of a relationship, we gonna cut our hair, we gonna lose weight, or we gonna do both. I did both.
Okay.
I got a trainer and I was just, I was like, I'm gonna show he will never taste this again.
Period.
You will never taste this again.
Period.
And so I got a trainer. At the time, my trainer was doing a 90-day plant-based journey. And so I was like, okay, he doing it for 90. I could do it for 30 days. It was January. So I just got on Facebook and I was like, hey, y'all, who want to go vegan for 30 days or whatever? And people were like, oh, yeah, let's do it. You going to show us how? And I was like, oh, I also don't know what I'm doing at all. So we were in this Facebook group just figuring it out together. So we did it for 30 days. I was doing cooking classes, figuring out what I could have, what I couldn't have. And, at this point, I'm in the thick of it, right? So I eat everything. And I'm giving these things up for 30 days. And I just remember how good I felt after those 30 days. But I went back, you know what I'm saying, to eating whatever, this, that, and the third. And after that process, I was like, okay, towards the holidays, people were kind of like, hey, January's coming around. Are we going to do that thing again? And I'm like, I didn't know it was a thing, but sure. Y'all want to do it again? Let's do it again. So that started the top of 2014. And so now coming up this January will actually be our 10-year anniversary of doing it. And so we started the group with 30 people. We have over 3,000 people in the group now. What? Some people have stayed vegan. Some people did not stay vegan. We had a group of people, of coworkers who were in the group, 30 coworkers, that they did a potluck every day. So they did for 2 years, they all ate at least one vegan meal every day because they would bring a vegan meal for their department to eat every day. And so they kept that up for, 2 years. Departments change, people move, whatever. But just to see the growth of that. So that was where it really started. And then 4 years in 2018, I started having these thought processes of, why do I keep going back to something that's making me sick? Because anytime I came out from veganism and let's say I ate, a piece of fried fish or I ate cheese, cheese would always make me congested. Any type of dairy makes me congested really bad. And so it was if I go 6 months without eating a plum, I don't never get sick whenever I go back to eating a plum. But anytime I go back to fish or whatever, I end up getting some type of sick. So it's just it came from really wanting to feel good in my body. I think, the health aspect of it was the number one driving force. And then, I do know people who, they don't consume animals, but they will, rock a leather jacket or whatever. I never, I wasn't ever a fashion girly. So it wasn't oh, I just have to have this culture. I have to have red bottoms or whatever. I never was into fashion like that. So that part was very easy for me to let go, because I think anything that I might have had that even was real leather or something was a bag I borrowed from my mom for an extended period of time or something like that, you know? So that was, you know, really easy. And then, you know, a lot of people don't say, I hope we don't get banned, but, you know, veganism a gang. It's blood in, blood out. So, you know, with that, I just was like, I started watching all those videos and like, you know, how animals were being treated and all that stuff. And I was just like, dang, like every day I need to eat for sure. But every day in me eating something, nothing has to die. Like for me, the point of where it turned from just a plant-based, you know, diet to that side, to the compassion side, was me thinking that like those were two simple truths that was easy for me. And I was already, I think like 3 years in when I was like, oh yeah, nothing has to die. Like to me, it got in that point. I don't know if it was the brainwashing or whatever, you know, whatever they put in vegan water, but it was just like, oh yeah, like, okay, I need to eat breakfast. Damn, like I'm about to kill a whole pig for some sausage. That's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna harass these chickens for their whole ovulation period. That's crazy. Like, you know, it just, the more I got into it, that's why I tell people it's a cult. Which camera I gotta look in? Don't start this shit if you ain't ready. Because once you, first of all, it's a gang, it's a cult, it's blood in, it's blood out. Once you get in, you know, you got to get out the same way. So if you're not ready, because you're going to go on the rabbit hole, you're going to start watching these documentaries and, you know, you start to watch how there's one, I think it's The Smell of Money, the one about the people in North Carolina who live next to the Smithfield pig farm. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's called The Smell of Money. But it's about like a small town of Black people who literally live like next door to I think Smithfield is like the largest sausage company in the world or sausage company in America. And so they slaughter like all of these, I think like 40,000 pigs a day or something like that, or a month or something. And, you know, obviously pigs, like, so they would talk about how, you know, when it would rain and like hurricane, it would flood and like pig feces would get in these people's houses and stuff like that. So once I started seeing like it affects Black people too, like I was like, I can't do that. I never was big on pork in general because my parents were Adventists. So, okay. And now we here.
That's amazing. So how did you first become interested in vegan cooking? Was it from the vegan community where you started like doing the...
No, actually my father is a chef. So I always could cook good. Like I always was able to cook very well because my dad started teaching me to cook at 4. And then when I became vegan, that was kind of how I got people in. So even when I would do the vegan challenge, I would always, the last like week, one of the last weeks of the month, I would have a vegan potluck. And so I would make like, I didn't know anything about oyster mushrooms. So I would get like, you know, vegan chicken and I would like fry it. I would make barbecue chicken, mac and cheese, like just a bunch of stuff that Black folks was familiar with, collard greens and all this stuff, yams or whatever, cornbread. And I would have people over and they would be like, oh, okay. Like it would be our little celebration of, you know, finishing the vegan challenge or whatever. So I always could cook, always. And I always loved culinary. Like my dad and I, we used to watch Iron Chef and, you know, Mario Batali and Rachel Ray and just whatever you can think of that came on Food Network. Emerald Lagasse, like we're really big into that. That was like that cooking shows and wrestling was...
That was your bonding.
Yeah, that was our bond. So I always had an interest in like culinary and I watched the Travel Channel. Like I like to see how people ate around the world. So, you know, once I got into veganism, it was just like, oh, I'm changing texture. But I always was interested in the art of culinary, yeah.
I love that. So to become a chef, do you have to go to a culinary school?
Girl, I guess not.
Okay.
I ain't been to nobody culinary school. I've been to BYU, Backyard University.
Period.
At the Hip University. And I think, I don't know how much time we got. That's like kind of like a deeper conversation. So I believe, and this is not to say that this is law, but I believe in this practice called the practice of 10,000 hours, which states that anything you do for 10,000 hours, you become a master at. So to me, you don't have to, like, I don't have to sit in a room and somebody say, oh, this, that. That's one. Two, there are very few plant-based culinary schools in the world. So if I went to actual cooking school, they're going to be like, oh, this is how, you know, you cut a steak off I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not doing that. And I didn't pay for these classes on financial aid. I'm here for a net check. Yeah. So get into it. I'm not doing that. I'm not deboning a chicken. I'm not doing that. Y'all nasty. Is your mama proud? That just what you do for a living? You're fingering a turkey.
Ooh.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
Like, because and it's so funny to me when people say that, when they're like, oh, why are you calling oyster mushroom chicken? It ain't chicken.
Ooh,
you don't really want to say what it really is.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, y'all all be eating stale bread out of turkey's ass from the back in front of your mom. And ask me what's the freakiest thing. What my mouth do?
Ooh.
That don't sound weird to you? Y'all are weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You about to eat a pig's ass in front of your mama.
Yeah.
That's not weird to you? That's a different level of OnlyFans. What are y'all into? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you really call it you're eating a chicken's period for breakfast. Won't eat your girl on her period, but you're eating a chicken's period. You don't know?
Period.
That's not weird to you, Stink?
I agree.
You know?
Because I was watching a documentary and...
What? Why are you doing...
I was watching a documentary and... I like that. I agree with you. I feel like we should call the meat what it is. It's not pork, it's a pig. Or a chicken, it's not a chick. It's a chicken. It's not beef, it's a cow. Like, let's call it like where it actually derived from. Like, we're not going to call it meat. It's an animal. Yeah. And let's name the animal. So I totally agree with that. Yeah,
I'm not into that. So with the whole culinary school thing, I just think, if you're doing, like I said, I've been cooking since I was 4. So when I became vegan, it was literally just, for me, it felt like I'm removing like 7 ingredients, you know? And I don't really talk about this often, so you're getting kind of the exclusive.
Period.
So even though that is how my vegan journey started, and I do accredit a lot of my cooking success with my dad because he was a chef, my mom actually stopped eating meat when I was 13. So we grew up 7-day Adventists, so we didn't eat pork, shrimp, none of the fun stuff, excuse me.
It's okay.
And then when I was 13, my mom became a pescatarian, and then she stopped drinking like cow's milk and all that other stuff. So I had, plus like, Adventists don't really eat a lot of meat in general. So I got exposed to a lot of, you know, like when people just like, oh, Morningstar. Like, I've been on Morningstar, been on Boca. Like, them is the old school brands. Like Beyond and, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are the new kids on the block.
So
okay.
True.
Boca, Worthington Farms. Like, yes, girl, honey, the scallops in the can. Haystacks, see, you don't know. You ain't have to be in the house before sunset on Friday. You wasn't raised like that. I was raised like that. So, because I didn't grow up eating pork, my parents are from the Caribbean, so we ate a lot of seafood anyway. And then my mom became pescatarian. I never really, like, you know how there's a lot of vegans that are always like, oh, you need to go. I never really faulted people because I didn't have like a long-term relationship with pork bacon where it was like, oh, I'm giving up something that, you know, even when we ate collard greens, we never had pork in our collard greens. It was always like smoked turkey. So it wasn't like I'm holding on to this clutch
attachment.
Of like, I have to have this or have to have meat. So it was like, you know, it wasn't that deep with certain things. I ain't gonna lie, chicken had me in a chicken wings specifically. Girl.
Really?
Lemon pepper.
It was the
hard,
chicken for
all
you?
Flat.
Period.
Man, my
ranch or
like
blue
this.
cheese?
Blue cheese. I'm classy.
Here?
Only low class hoes like ranch.
Yeah. Oh.
You tell them you gonna take them somewhere where they cook the food in front of you and they expecting Waffle House. Girl, please.
Oh.
No, not ranch.
Okay, so
and I say this with love. If you like ranch, please grow up.
Oh.
Evolve.
Oh.
You didn't survive the Panda Rosa to keep eating ranch.
Period. So you got here very quickly than I wanted to. But
what?
You mentioned the lemon pepper made your coochie. Besides the lemon pepper chicken wings, what other
I've
foods?
never heard that I came too soon, but okay.
Oh, okay. Besides,
you are so uncomfortable. Like, y'all do not know, this is my dog in real life. You remember that scene from, like, I think it was the 5 Heartbeats when the girl's in the chair like this? And that's what you're doing right now.
Really?
And it's making me uncomfortable. Like, there's a
No,
not in a weird way.
Energy to you.
You're transferring the sexual energy to me.
Oh, yeah. That happens when we're around each other. I don't know if you notice it.
Yeah, no. I noticed that.
Okay.
That. But I didn't know if we was going to be regular friends or what we were doing.
Got you.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to talk about it on camera. You let me know.
What else makes your coochie wet? Because you be mentioning
No,
it in
it's
your
not
story.
wet. It's like pulse.
Pulse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a little throb. So it doesn't get moist. Not
Okay.
for that. But
What
I mean,
makes your coochie?
some food does. I'm sexually attracted to food.
What foods are you sexually attracted to?
I don't know. Really well executed foods, to be honest. I couldn't say that it was just like one food, because if I had it and it was like regular, like, you know what I mean? It would just be like, oh, this is, you know, good. But I mean, and I say this often with people, and this is why I kind of get in like a little bit of trouble with vegan restaurants and stuff like that, doing reviews and whatnot, because when I go to a restaurant, regardless of vegan or whatever, I like to be impressed. To me, food is an experience. So it's like, it's not enough for it to just be good. Like I want to eat something that I almost can't figure out in my mind. Like I can't rework the flavor profile in my mind. I'm excited about the way the flavors come together, and it makes me want to meet the chef. You know what I mean? Like recently when I was at homecoming, I ended up going to this Thai restaurant and they had a special. They had
I saw you mention that.
They had this pumpkin curry and it was so good.
The tofu.
Yes, they fried the tofu, but the base of it was like a pumpkin curry and it was so good. I had to meet the chef. And then she gave us an ice cream as well too. It was made from coconut cream and dates, and it was a pineapple lime ice cream. Like, to me, it's like when you put those flavors together, it's unexpected. I haven't experienced it before. It's well thought out, and then it's well executed. I want to meet you. Like, what do you eat for breakfast? What books are you reading? What's your morning routine? Like, I like to be impressed by food. So if it's not that, that's why and we'll probably talk about it later, I can fast for a long time because food is like exciting to me. It's not just nourishment. You know, I can eat the same thing. I can have watermelon with lime every day and go about my business. But if it's like, I want to be impressed. Like, I like people who love food too. Like, to me, if you don't love food, you shouldn't own a restaurant. You shouldn't be in business.
Really? Okay. So you mentioned a couple of things about like textures and flavors. What are like core principles, like when it comes to like vegan cooking? Like, what are like core flavors or textures when you're cooking a vegan dish that you like have to have or you recommend when you're preparing like a vegan meal?
So flavor wise, it depends on where you are in the world. It depends on what you're cooking. So if you, for example, if you have cilantro and tomato, you're probably in Mexico.
Yeah.
If you have cilantro and coconut milk, you're probably in Southeast Asia. You know, if you have cilantro and mint, you're probably in the Middle East. So it just depends on what you're trying to execute. Like, that depends on the flavor to me. Or if you're just trying to make some new stuff. Texture, I think it depends on what kind of meat you're eating, you know, whether you're eating like seafood or whatnot, and then working on getting to that texture. That's a whole nother process.
I love that. So what are some misconceptions when it comes to like vegan cooking or like veganism?
I would say the two biggest misconceptions I get is that it's expensive and that it takes a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the biggest things. And
do you feel like being a vegan is expensive, or like purchasing the food or sustaining that lifestyle is expensive?
Honestly, I might have felt that way a few years ago when I first started, but now I think everybody's grocery bill looks about the same, to be honest, like regardless of what you eat. So, I mean, I think if you keep a simple, like mostly natural, whole foods, plant-based lifestyle, I think you're fine, to be honest, because if you're talking about getting like rice or, you know, quinoa, making it yourself, if you're talking about getting like dried lentils and beans and stuff instead of getting it out of the can or whatever, then yeah, it's very affordable. But I feel like if you're looking for those fake meat options and you're trying to replace that, then yeah, you're definitely gonna run into an issue for sure.
Okay. So if I were to go into your kitchen, what are like some like must have like vegan ingredients, like in the pantry, in the refrigerator, spices?
So honestly, I experiment a lot. So I would say it's very possible that you will go in my kitchen from one week to the next and find different things. Just like we were talking about that vegan eggnog, like that just came out, or oat nog or whatever you want to call it. That just came out. So I bought it, you know, just to try it or whatever. So that's different. I normally buy Chobani oat milk, but I had Khalifa Farms because it was buy one, get one. Which, side note, shout out to the scammers. Did you know? I gotta talk to the scammers real quick. So, okay. In Florida, you have to do buy one, get one. So like if you're in Georgia and you're at Publix, you can just buy one and you'll get the thing 50% off, which is essentially what buy one, get one is. But in Florida, you have to buy both things. You have to get 2 bottles of the milk in order to get the BOGO. But you use one, then the next day you come back and return it. It's like you got the first one for free. You're welcome. I don't know what her Cash App is, but mine is $ Sunni, SUNNI Speaks. And y'all can go ahead and send some money over for that tip. Now, you can't go in there with the receipt, because if you go in there with the receipt, then they're going to be like, oh, BOGO. Or go in there without the receipt, and they're going to give you a gift card, and you was going to shop there anyway, and then now you can get you a vegan Publix sub. You're welcome. Stink. Oh, I literally have a box in my house that's called a Publix give back box. So whenever I get stuff that I don't like if I don't like that oat nog, that's going back to the store.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I return everything.
I was like that too when it came to clothes. Like my business out there. But yeah, I would return stuff. Like I'll wear it one time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll keep the tag on. Like anytime you see me and I have a tag on my clothes, I might return it.
Oh, I take the tag off. What are you talking about?
Oh, you take it off?
Yes.
And still return it?
Yes. Is water wet? Is Trump going to prison? Hell yeah. Girl, I take it back. I take everything. And let me say, I'm going to tell you this. And this is when I decided that I was going to do it like for real. I had a friend who was a manager at Publix while we were at FAM. I'm not going to say his name, for a long time, right? And he said to me, a lot of times people think it's like, oh, that's like returning stuff, that's hood, and like all these, you know, because we have this unspoken responsibility to be the mascot for all Black people anytime we're out, right? Because if you do something that's going to make everybody in the culture look bad, right? And he said to me, I've been working here for 6 years. He said, there's an older white lady who comes in here every single Sunday and returns the 2 booty pieces of bread in exchange for a new loaf of bread. She literally comes back and says, hey, I wasn't satisfied. They give her a gift card. She goes and get a new loaf of bread. And when he told me that, I said, I have nothing to be ashamed of. I return everything. Everything. If I feel like, oh, I'm going to go on a diet this week and then I don't, and the lettuce is wilted and I never use it, it's going back to the store.
Say less.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to throw it away, right? Publix is going to throw it away because it's produce. They can't take it back. You was going to throw it away, but now you threw it away and you $4 broker.
Yeah.
Publix got it. I ain't got it.
That's so true. Damn.
I return everything. When I say everything, everything. If I don't like it, if I thought I liked it halfway through and I decided I don't like it no more, if I don't need it no more, I return it because it's just going to go in the trash anyway. So I might as well put it in their trash and get my money back.
That's so smart. I'm gonna do that. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, my Cash App is $ SUNNI Speak. Sunni Speak.
Okay. So you are like the vegan oxtail connoisseur, honey. And your mac and cheese is like bomb. I've had her mac and cheese. I've had her food, her plates. It's everything. So what is your approach to creating like a traditional classic, but in like a vegan version?
Just going the same way. So like even with my mac and cheese recipe, I literally went to like YouTube and watched all of these recipes. And I did that, I would say, for maybe like 94% of every recipe that you've seen in my cookbook, which my cookbook is relaunching.
Yes.
So go ahead and cop that, get the seasonings and everything. And so I literally would just, if I was making collard greens, I would look like, you know, people who have the YouTube best collard green recipe or whatever, and I would watch what everybody was doing.
Is it vegan or you veganized it?
It was regular. Okay. So any recipe that I took it and made it vegan, but I would watch the non-vegan recipe. Sorry to PETA, because them people got views out of me. But I would watch the non-vegan version and just study it the same way you study for a test. Like I'm studying flavor profile, all of that stuff. So because if you know what flavor you're trying to create, then you can know where that's found, right? So for example, with my collard greens, I always say I'm looking for the same flavor profile. Spicy, smoky, sweet, savory. That's with a hint of the vinegar. So now that I know that this is the flavor profile, okay, if I need spicy, anything can be spicy. I can use cayenne pepper, I can use jalapeno, I can use Thai chili peppers, I can use Scotch bonnet, I can use habanero, I can use hot sauce, because the flavor profile I want is spicy. Now I know I also want smoky. I can use ham hocks, I can use neck bones, I can use smoked turkey, I can use liquid smoke, I can use a vegan bouillon that has smoked seasoning in it. I can use smoked paprika because the flavor profile is smoky.
Yes.
Now I want sweet in there. I can use date sugar, I can use coconut sugar, I can use monk fruit, I can use agave, maple syrup, brown sugar, white sugar, turbinado sugar, because the flavor profile is sweet. That doesn't change. Now these things are found all across the board. Same thing with the tart from the vinegar. I need the acidity, because a lot of people don't think about this, and I'm a food nerd, like culturally. So collard greens, the way that Black people make them with the vinegar it's essentially a pickled dish, because you don't have refrigeration back in those days. So the vinegar is what allows it to stay unrefrigerated for a long period of time. So I need the acidity of that vinegar to basically cure the acidity and the salt and the sugar. That's what makes it pickled. So vinegar, salt, and sugar pickles anything, right? So now I know I can use regular vinegar or apple cider vinegar or balsamic, white wine, red wine, because it's going to give me the same result. A little bit change in flavor, but it's going to give me the same result. So I'm not just a vegan chef and I study food. Like I study the history, I study the origin, why people are doing things the way that they've done for so many years, the way our ancestors have done it, why it's particular to a region, all of those things.
Well, I feel like you already touched on like some vegan hacks that I was going to ask you. That's dope.
I mean, let me stop jumping across the questions then.
No, you're fine. So what are some tips that you can offer to reduce food waste?
I would say looking into doing zero waste recipes. So one that I just learned recently is whenever you're doing like your regular cooking and you have like your onion skins and, you know, the core of the bell pepper and things like that you don't use, the tip of the scallion and stuff like that. You can actually put that in a pot with water and, you know, some fresh herbs and some seasoning and make broth. So I literally just did that.
Stock.
Yeah. A stock. So I literally just did that yesterday. So what I'll do is if I already have like broth, for example, then what I'll do is I'll take all of those, like my onions, bell peppers and stuff like that. Instead of throwing them away, I'll put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer until I need broth again. And then I'll pour that in there. Mushrooms are really good in there. I put my herbs, my celery seed. You know, if let's say I'm using cilantro, right, and I've used all the leaves, I'll put the back part of the cilantro in there and all that good stuff and, you know, let it simmer for hours and hours. And then you have like a rich stock. You just drain it and then you take it still is kind of technically wasting it, but you get two uses out of it, right? Because you get the onion and the bell pepper and whatever you put inside your food, and then the core, you get to boil it. You can also compost it. I like looking for things like that. And also, too, I would say this is going to sound like a weird way to help food waste, but I'm going to tie it in. Drink more water. A lot of people don't know that hunger and thirst is controlled by the same part of the brain. So a lot of times we think that we're hungry and we're actually thirsty. We haven't drank enough water.
Yeah.
And because of that, we cook a whole bunch of food. We get full super fast, and then the food ends up going to waste.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
I could be on Jeopardy. I just have I know a bunch of random things.
No, you're really like a food expert, for real.
Really?
I like listening to you talk. You sound so knowledgeable.
Oh
like
my God.
Breaking down flavor profiles and stuff, like spice, smoky, sweet.
And you know what's so funny that you're saying this to me is that it's one of those things, like, you know, if you're really like into your field, you feel like everybody knows. So for me, it's like, but I don't think everyone dissects it like that, right? So it's like when I think about collard greens, I'm like, we've all been eating collard greens our whole life. We know what it tastes like. So everybody knows this, but everybody doesn't break it down in this manner to like understand it in that way. But yeah, I really I'm very passionate about food. You know, even my event, like the Vegan Sexy Party, it is for foodies. You know, people of course, I get a lot of people who come because they're vegan, but really I've had a lot of people who come to the event who are not vegan, and they just are people who like food.
Yeah.
And it's really good food, and it's a really great experience. So yeah.
I love that. Since you touched on it, what would be
you get so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. I don't have to get your number, girl.
I can't. Listen.
You are well moisturized. Give me your hand. Ooh.
I'm soft.
Yeah.
Oh,
inside and out.
Period.
We gotta cut the cameras off. This is only fans in the camera. Cut it.
Okay. So
and we on Instagram Live, Master Zuckerberg. Don't take my page. Please don't take my page.
Oh my God. Listen, what are some tips you could share with people who are interested in transitioning to a vegan diet?
Stop bullshitting and come on.
Is it that simple? Because some people are like, it's like the hardest thing in the world.
You know what? I will say this, and I will share my journey with people. I did not go vegan cold turkey. I know. Escándalo. I did not go vegan cold turkey. I did not just wake up and be like, oh, I'm not going to eat this, and that. I literally reduced my meat consumption until it just went back to zero.
Elimination. That's what I did.
And so I think if people thought about it like that, and the whole first year, so 2018, like before I got to December, that whole first year, I never put myself in a situation where it was like, I felt like I was on punishment, like, oh, I can't have this, and that. No, I never looked at it like that. And anytime, so what I did was I became vegan in my household. So I wouldn't buy anything at the grocery store that wasn't vegan. I wouldn't cook anything. But then when I went out, like if I wanted wings or something like that with my friends, I would eat wings, but I would order, let's say 10 instead of 20 because I knew I couldn't bring any wings home, you know? And so I kept reducing my meat consumption that way, which was a lot easier for me. Me personally, this is just my personal journey and my personal story. And I think if people think about it in that way of like, let me do a meatless Monday, or let me not do meat for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, breakfast is the easiest meal to not do meat for, right? We live in capitalistic America. Your ass ain't got time to be eating no breakfast anyway. Get back to work. You don't have time to be eating breakfast. So first of all, you need to be fasting, drinking a smoothie, eating oatmeal, cinnamon toast crunch with almond milk or whatever kind of milk, whatever. Like to me, breakfast is no way. It's no way. You don't need to be eating meat for breakfast at all. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make you sluggish and all the other scientific stuff behind it. But you don't need to be eating meat for breakfast anyway. So that's, to me, that's like one of the easiest ways to do it. You can just easily like cut it out, you know, or you can say, okay, I'm going to try a new vegan restaurant. That's how I, you know, got to know so many people. When I became vegan, I was in Atlanta. And so that's how I got to know so many people and be on the forefront of the vegan scene. I was trying vegan restaurants all the time, like all the time. Oh, this person opened up new, this pop up, this person delivers. And one thing I will say, the good thing about that too, and I really want to be transparent about this and drive this point home. So I'm going to look in the camera. If you see me looking in the camera, that means I'm serious. I'm not playing with y'all. I have met some of the most incredible people, phenomenal people who have become like integral to my family and really good friends by going vegan and being at vegan restaurants and meeting these owners, meeting these chefs, meeting these people who are passionate about it, going to meetups, hosting meetups. Like when I say the best, I'm talking about people that I will bring my mama around and I've met them off of Instagram and they're vegan. You know what I mean? So you really do get to engage and build a community and build a tribe. And I think as your community grows, kind of like, you know, they say you are what you attract or you attract what you are or whatever. As you're deeper in it, you're going to start to attract more of those people, right?
Like-minded people.
Yeah. So even when am I around people who eat meat? Yes. How often does that happen? Not often. Do the people that I'm around, do they eat pork? No, not really. Are they going to eat it in front of me? No. And and that's not even from a vegan who's like, I'm going to make you feel bad. And
you're not the vegan police.
No, I'm not the vegan police at all. Like I've been to, most of the time when I go to different business dinners and closed deals, everyone at the table is eating meat besides me.
Does it bother you, like being around people, like the smell or like seeing them eat it?
It depends on what it is. Sometimes it does bother me. I know if someone's making not steak, but like specifically like burgers or like Phillies and stuff, it smells like hot feces. Like it smells like a hot porta potty to me.
Ooh.
And that's been like maybe within the past 2 years. Certain seafoods I can't take. Like I can't take lobster. Lobster I can't take. Maybe like shrimp and stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not supposed to say this because I don't know. I'm not supposed to say. I don't know. The vegan police. Fried chicken still smell good to me, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's because I'm colored. The smells are free.
I don't care.
The smells are free. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not ashamed to say it. I be walking past Publix Deli, smell that chicken for free. I'm not gonna eat it, y'all. I'm not gonna buy it, but I walks past it. See how the slavery just came out?
You see?
I walks past it and I smells it.
Yes.
Because it's free.
Yes.
And it smells good to me.
Yes, sir.
It smells good.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Peter.
Yes,
and everybody, please still endorse. Can y'all have $1, please?
Oh, yes.
I'm out here changing lives. Peter, can y'all send me cash at me $20?
Yes, God.
Who else? Because you know they don't like when you say stuff like that. I'm sorry. That chicken smell good.
It does smell good.
It's because I'm colored. I'm sorry.
I'm colored too.
But y'all can still endorse me because I don't eat it and I be, telling people not to eat it. It smell good. I'm sorry.
I agree. So you said chicken was the hardest thing for you to let go?
Chicken, eggs, chicken wings, eggs, cheese, and fish was like my hardest things.
Eggs?
Oh, yeah.
How'd you like your eggs?
Before I went vegan, over medium, my dad used to make perfect over medium eggs. And I actually and it's crazy because, all the talk about single parents and stuff like that. My parents were actually married until the day my dad died.
Oh, wow.
And so my dad used to make us breakfast every single morning before we went to school. And when I say breakfast, I'm talking about over medium eggs, corned beef hash, turkey bacon, toast, the whole nine. He used to make us breakfast every single morning. So eggs was hard for me to give up. But also what I realized, because, when you first start going vegan, people would give you we have vegan pancakes and da-da-da. Eggs was hard for me to give up because I like savory food more than I like sweet food. So when I could go places and it was the only thing you could have is pancakes or waffles or French toast, it was
you didn't want it.
I did not want it, but I wanted something savory. I prefer a savory bread. Even when I wasn't vegan, I never went out and even if I ordered pancakes and eggs, or I ordered French toast and eggs. I like savory more.
Yeah.
So eggs were very hard for me to give up. And breakfast is my favorite meal.
Me too.
I love breakfast. Let me tell you, look in the camera, the people at Just, don't y'all do no racist shit, okay?
What happened?
I know, I'm just saying.
You like it.
Because I'm going to have to support y'all in secret. Don't be out here talking about the gays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be grabbing nobody by the titty meat because I like y'all product. I like it a lot and I like to keep enjoying it.
Yeah.
Please don't do nothing. Please. I love when Just came out. I ain't gonna lie. I think I was gonna make it till Just came out. When Just came out with egg, oh yeah.
What were you doing before with your egg alternatives?
Cheating.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm Sagittarius. I'm cheating.
Oh, okay. You're honest.
Yeah, no, girl. I dip and dab.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it don't count.
No, it don't.
Not in the same city. It don't count. Not in my house. It don't count.
Does it count if you don't? Never mind.
No, I used to love some eggs there. I could not get eggs was hard for me. Cheese was real hard for me. Cheese was I would say the hardest. And then when you're going through that in-between stage, when you're trying to figure out how you can get cheese to melt and do what it needed to do. When I tell you my first batch, and it's so funny because you brought up the vegan mac and cheese and people love my mac and cheese. When I tell y'all, and this is exclusive for your podcast.
Period.
The first vegan mac and cheese I made out, let me tell you something. If anybody has that photo, if that shit comes out, they will never find your body. And I know because I'm going to help them look. If anybody knows that first mac and cheese that I made, because I grew up with the egg mac and cheese. So I made this mac and cheese and I made an egg substitute with flaxseed. Girl, this, don't you see how you got your face? This oat brand ass mac and cheese.
Oat brand mac and cheese.
It was good, but it wasn't. And
it was
then
grainy?
didn't know, girl, I don't want to talk about it. And then I didn't know about the foil rule. So I just threw the vegan cheese on top. The shit dried like wood chips.
Okay.
It just, it If anybody, if you was my Facebook friend, let me look into the camera because you know you can't. It's YouTube. They'll take. Don't play with me. Delete that shit off your phone. Delete it now.
I can't. Okay, so since you mentioned that, okay, your food not only tastes good, but the presentation is appealing too. What are like, because I'm not good with like the presentation. Like,
I didn't think I was either. Thank you.
I think you are. Like, what are like some tips or suggestions? Like, do you eat with your eyes? Does it have to look like visually appealing to you?
I think for me, not really, but only because I've eaten so many places around the world, and not so many places. Like I've been to like 14 countries.
Oh, wow.
And so I've eaten in a lot of places where I've eaten food that didn't look visually appealing. And it's amazing to this day. Like when I went to Haiti and had legume for the first time, to me, my opinion, Haitians, I'm one of you.
Yeah.
Sagafet.
Yeah.
Don't get me.
Yeah.
Legume is not a visually appealing dish. And it's, I think, as someone who's in a culinary space, it's a particularly hard dish to make look visually appealing. Like even if you put it in a ramekin and did a drizzle, and because of the way that the carrots and the spinach and stuff, it's a stew. You know what I mean? So I think it, in that way of like looking at it elevated, it's kind of hard to make it look visually appealing. To this day, it is still one of the best things that I have eaten in my entire life across all cuisines. Legume is impeccable. So, I'm not a person that necessarily eats with my eyes. I've eaten a lot of stuff. I've ate, one of my favorite things that I ate when I was in Senegal was cheboujen, which is like a tomato. So cheboujen is actually, you know how people are like obsessed with jollof? The original jollof is cheboujen.
Oh.
Like it originated in Senegal. So even though there's people who claim like, oh, we do it better, they can all claim that they do it better. None of them can claim that they're the original except for Senegal. But it's like a vegetable stew. So I make it without the fish now, but it's like a vegetable stew that has like eggplants and tomatoes, onions, garlic. It's blended up. The rice turns red when it's cooked in it. It's really good. And then they usually take it and put it with fish that's stuffed with like hot peppers and garlic and all this other stuff. It doesn't look particularly appealing on the plate. It's incredible. Like I had mafe, which is like beef and like a peanut butter stew. Really, really good.
That's African?
Yeah. It's Senegal's in West Africa.
Okay. Do you get offended like if you prepare a vegan meal, or if you just hear somebody, like if you see a vegan like dish and someone says like, what is that? Like,
No.
Should the food be recognizable? Is that why like we call it like vegan chicken, so people can identify, like recognize that we're like putting like 2 and 2 together, like it's just a mock or a faux version of it?
I think they need to identify with it. Everything on my page is about relatability. And so I feel like people are not going to embrace anything that they don't feel
unfamiliar.
Like, yeah, that's unfamiliar.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? So it's like, and then if not, then I have to like explain it to you. Like, right, if you've never had, we're having a conversation about legume, which is flowing smoothly because you know what legume is.
Right.
If not, then I would explain it to you.
I'm sorry. Can you tell people what is legume in case they're not familiar with it?
Legume is a Haitian style stew that the base is, I don't know what
like cabbage.
I don't know what their word for it is, but we call chayote squash. Has carrots, has spinach, it's made with epis, it's stewed down. It's absolutely phenomenal with some white rice and suspois. And sometimes Haitian people ruin it with beef. Suspois is a blended bean sauce.
Yeah, it's so
I don't know if sauce is, girl.
Yeah.
Hey, my coochie do like this.
See, that also does that too.
I did the last vegan sexy party here in Miami. I did a 6-hour suspois. So I like,
oh wow.
I made the beans with the coconut milk over 6 hours, and then I kept putting it through a sifter and let it simmer. Girl, when I tell you that thing was like suede on your tongue.
Oh.
And it was heavy with the clove. So it had like a little bit of the numbing agent. You could taste the epis. There was heat on the back. And you see how you're experiencing it as I'm explaining it? You keep moving your mouth. Like, that's... I didn't see you took it that way. I didn't even mean it that way. Y'all. And it ain't no HR here or nothing. It ain't nothing.
I can't.
But yeah, so I think it's so people can identify with it, readily, easily. And then also, I try to explain people, if you're eating, a standard American diet, everything is meat centered.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go outside, even with legume, like, people say, oh, legume is not legume without beef, without crab. But the flavor is not in the beef. The flavor is in the stew. Like, if you literally took the beef out, legume would still be amazing.
I agree.
You know what I mean? If you just took that out, the same thing when you look at, Thai curry or anything like that, like, or curry chicken, the chicken is not the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
This, like the curry, the potato, all of that, that's the flavor.
I agree. That's when people they can't stop eating the meat. I don't think people like the meat. I think they like the seasoning or the flavor that's combined along with the meat.
100%. But I'm 5 years in, God willing, December 18th, and I'm through arguing with Black people.
Period.
Yeah, I tell people my goal is not to get you to go vegan. My goal is to is to basically make a plate that is so good you forget meat isn't on it.
I like that.
And I can do that.
I like that.
Easily.
I like that. So you're not one of those vegans that are trying to convert people to be a vegan.
No, but you're gonna be more vegan when you around me though.
That's so true.
And I say this, I don't know if you saw my video on Instagram. If you leave your non-vegan stuff at my house, I'm throwing your shit away. Oh yeah. My aunts will call and they're like, hey, I left.
It's gone.
Sent file 13, babe.
Oh, you know what I call that? I call that alignment. Like once you get around people, you gonna match my energy. And I'm not trying to convert you. It's just my vibe. Like people just catch on to it. Like seriously.
How does that work in like a dating space for you? Are you strictly
we're getting into that now?
Oh,
I was gonna get into it. Let's get into it.
Let me shut up and let you ask your question.
No, we can
not
get
me
into
trying to
it.
be Oprah.
Because this is more entertaining, honey.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's whatever. We can whenever.
Okay.
No, go in the order of your questions. There's
I'm going to ask this one more
y'all.
question and then we're going to get into the dating.
Okay, I don't know how much time we had. I didn't pay for this.
Okay, so in your culinary space that you're in, have you faced any challenges or adversity being a Black female vegan chef?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
I think that's why it's so important to create your own space and create your own lane. I think that there's a lot of spaces where, what's the best way I can say this? People and entities are allowed to be anti-Black without saying it. So, I'll give you this exclusive too, and I'm not going to say the name because I signed a whole bunch of paperwork, girl, and I don't remember what it said. It had a lot of big words on it.
Okay.
But I tried out for this cooking show in 2018.
Okay.
Made it very far into the finals. They loved my food. My entry dish, I did vegan curry goat tacos with plantain soft shell tortillas and a papaya hot sauce. They loved it. They loved the way it came together. They couldn't believe it was vegan. It was amazing. We got to the final, I think it was 8 people in the room. And they were like, we know that you're vegan. On this show, we do cook meat. Are you willing to cook meat? And so I was like, I will braise you a giraffe knuckle for the right price. I've done worse for less money.
Yeah. Wow.
Made it through. They were like, okay, cool. So they sent over, you have to sign all this paperwork. They sent over the background check. Background check is 161 pages.
What?
Go filling out the paperwork. You can't have ever had a car repoed. You can't be a convicted felon. You can't have ever lived with a convicted felon. I said, oh, can't have
not even live?
You can't have lived with a convicted felon. What was the other thing that was just outrightly anti? They asked, have you ever done any illegal substances?
This was for a cooking show
or for
the police department?
No, this is for a cooking show. This is for a cooking show. They wanted to know all the tickets you've had, on your license in the past 5 years, all of this stuff. And I was just like, dang,
it was like a law enforcement job.
No, it was so bad to the point that, I was like, I had to call my mom and be like, hey, remember when daddy went to jail? Was that a felony? And my mom was like, why do you ask? So I started explaining to her about, you know, me applying for the show and what they're asking. She's like, oh, well, in that case, I have a charge. I said, excuse me?
Oh, wow.
Now, mind you, this is my mom, head deaconess and all that. 7 I said, you have a what? She's like, yeah, I mean, your daddy was in Venezuela and he already had priors. So I just went ahead and took the charge. I said, first of all, you're a better woman than me.
Yeah.
Every day and all day, because I'm not doing no time for no. She's like, oh, I didn't do no time. I had a misdemeanor, but I got to expunge. Mind you, I'm 30-something years old finding this out about my own mama because these people asked me this. And I'm like, I've been living with life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've been living my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like, so yeah, there's like in those spaces, and I think that is an issue too, because I watch a lot of cooking shows. So you'll see these cooking shows on these streaming networks and it's like, oh, you know, for example, one of them is Chef's Table, and so it's on Netflix and it's this show. I'd never applied for it or anything like that, but it's on Netflix, and basically they have like two chefs that are paired together from all over the world, and so they're given a particular like country, and then they're given like a particular food from that country that they need to, you know, emulate and kind of make their own. And so like I was watching the first season and like the first country that they did was like Mexico, and it was tacos, and then they did Spain, and then they did paella, and then they did Brazil, and they did like feijoada, you know, all these different things. But it's like you aren't making fufu because you don't see it as elevated cuisine. You don't see it that, like, for example, for chefs, something that we'll look at as like a test of elevation is like, can you make mayonnaise from scratch? Can you make a bechamel from scratch? Can you make hollandaise from scratch? Because it requires not just skill but technique, right? So for example, I talk about this all the time. Like if you're making an Alfredo sauce, right? The importance with Alfredo is that you have to keep whisking it and you have to have the temperature exactly right. If the heat is too high, all the cheese will sink to the bottom and it will burn. If the fire is too low, the sauce will never come together and the cheese won't melt. And then if you aren't whisking it consistently, it won't come together into what we know, because basically Alfredo is a type of like bechamel sauce. It won't come together, which is a technique. Like you have to practice. You don't get it right the first time. If you do, you're lucky. It is a technique that you have to practice, a skill that you have to acquire. I think that making fufu from scratch is a lot harder than making Alfredo from scratch.
For sure.
Right. Yeah. Consistency, temperature, it's all, but in those culinary spaces, they don't look at indigenous and African food as elevated or requiring much technique, when it requires a lot more technique, a higher skill set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of spaces in the culinary field where, yeah, it's anti-Black without saying that.
Wow.
You know?
That's deep. I didn't think about that. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I get deep. I like to read and stuff.
Period. So this is the final question. Then we're going to get into the vegan after dark session.
Oh, there's a vegan after dark section. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned for the vegan after dark.
So how do you see the future of vegan cuisine evolving? What does the future of vegan looks like to you?
Everything. It's everything, and it's going everywhere. And I say that because when I do consultations for like restaurants and stuff, which I do consultations, y'all hit my line.
Period.
In that space, we get so much more than just vegans, right? So if you make a dish vegan, you don't just get vegans. You now get vegetarians. You now get people with egg allergies. You get people with milk allergies. In certain cases, you get people with nut allergies, depending on what it is. There are in fact people who are allergic to meat, or their bodies don't process beef, you know, or they haven't, like my mom, like I said, my mom's been pescatarian for over 20 years. So you get all of these, you get pescatarians, you get all of these other people to bring dollars into your economy. And so I think what we've seen is now all of these companies, these multinational and billion-dollar corporations, they want a piece of the vegan dollar, right?
Absolutely.
You seeing Burger King, at least globally. Even when they don't have it here in the US, but in Puerto Rico, they have a vegan chicken sandwich. At Burger King, they have vegan nuggets.
Wow.
I think they have it in the UK too. You know, the UK be getting everything.
They're so ahead of us.
Like, girl, I knew it at free healthcare. But so globally you're seeing like all of these major brands that are emerging. You know, you have, I don't know if you've seen like the Not Cheese brand, like the Not Cheese, Not Milk. That's Kraft.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if you knew Philadelphia makes vegan cream cheese now. It's bomb, by the way. They're not paying me to say this. They should. They can. My number's in the comments.
Period.
But yeah, so all of these major, because they know they're losing money. The dairy industry is losing money every single year. So they have to in order to stay up. So it's everywhere. You're seeing it in everything. And I think I notice it much more, not me in particular, but chefs, because I'm in the grocery store every day. So I watched when, you know, daring chicken was a concept to being tasted at, you know, at buyer events, to being in the grocery store, to now they have TV dinners. And this all happened in like a span of a year and a half.
Wow.
You know, you're seeing different collaborations now. I think Eggo has a collaboration with Morningstar where they have like a waffle chicken sandwich.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Right. Because everybody wants a piece of the vegan dollar, because so many people are either transitioning, doing better for their health, they have allergies, their kid have allergies or whatever, or they're just trying to, you know, eat less meat in general. So now all of these companies are doing it. Field Roast, for example. Field Roast used to make like, I think just the sausages and the hot dogs. Now they make breakfast sausages. They make holiday roast. They have a breakfast sandwich that you can buy out of the grocery store. People are doing burritos. So even when you look down, Beyond Meat has a partnership with Golden Crust where now you can get beef patties. You can get them inside the grocery store, or you can walk inside the actual restaurant and get a Beyond Meat patty. Impossible burgers are literally everywhere.
So true.
Diet cheese, you know, you can go to, I won't say almost every, because for whatever reason, like Pizza Hut and Domino's, get it together, babe.
Seriously.
Get it. The fact that I cannot order a vegan pizza to my door in the year of our Lord and Savior, Beyonce, 20 and 23, it's a problem, Domino's. It's a problem, Pizza Hut. Get it together. But yeah, so there's actually a place. Ooh, I might eat them for dinner, actually. There's a place called
Venucci?
No, Venucci's is on the other side of the planet, girl. Sarpino's. Sarpino's you don't eat Sarpino's? Sarpino's uses vegan cheese, so you can get vegan pizza. I get their calzones though. They have vegan cheese, they have vegan pepperoni, vegan sausage, and vegan chicken. You can get their calzones, and they stay open till 3 a.m.
What?
And they deliver. As long as you get your order in by 2 a.m., they will deliver it to you. And they're fast too, actually.
That's amazing.
Now that I'm talking about it, I'm seeing myself ordering it for my drive home so that it can be at my door.
I love that. So you mentioned collaborations, and I'm noticing something that you're doing in the vegan community, and I love, love, love it. So I've seen that, like, you are the vegan oxtail connoisseur. So recently you did a catering event with Chef Maul.
Yeah.
With Country Wayne.
Yes.
Why is it? Because, you know, you're popping, like, you have like over 50,000 followers, like 57, my bad. 57 and counting. Like, you can collect the bag on your own. Why is it important to collaborate with other vegan, like, chefs or influencers? Because I've noticed that, like, it's not just you guys collaborate together. Like, you have the upcoming Thanksgiving, you have Miss B with desserts.
Yeah.
So why do you guys collaborate together?
Why not? Why not? We stronger together. We're better together.
True.
I think a lot of times we've been taught and made to believe that, you know, this is the pot and the pot only has so much and everybody's digging out of this pot. One, I don't believe that's true. My spiritual practice, I believe in an abundant, limitless source. So there's more. I don't even think there's enough for everybody. There's more than enough for everybody. That's number one. And then every single person that I collaborate with is a genius in their own right.
Right.
And I'm also, I think people kind of take it in levels where they say like, oh, well, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. I don't think that that's ever humanly possible because everybody is smarter than you and you are smarter than everyone at something, right? For example, I would say with like Maul is very big on presentation, right? And I love that about them. He's very big on presentation. He's very big on plating. I think Maul does better plating than me, especially for like day-to-day plating. I think his plating looks better than mine. So I'm in the room, I'm watching him when he's plating, when he's making his presentation. when he's timing his different things. And one thing that I love about working with Maul is that we are both number ones, but we can be a two for each other on that day. So when I worked with him with Country Wayne, that was actually his booking. And I was like, hey, you know, do you think Country Wayne would like these oxtails? He was like, yeah, come in. And so I was like an extra set of hands. So he might be making rice and he left the vegetables on. I'm like, hey, do you want these vegetables on? Because he doesn't have to tell me to turn the vegetables off. I can think through the thought process. Now, it's still your rodeo. I'm just asking. Are we doing al dente? We doing crisp? We doing black people? You know, black people cook vegetables till thy kingdom come. I don't know what we're doing. I'm just asking. You know, these are still on, right? Okay, hey, they're getting ready to eat. Do you want the salad laid out like this, or do you want it on every person's individual plate? Like, what do you want? So working with people that are a boss but know how to work into your flow is super important. So to me, the collabing, it just makes sense. Like, he has an audience he can reach that, you know, I'm not going to reach. I have an audience I can reach that he's not going to reach.
Right.
And at the same time, we're still in the same space. We're doing, I wouldn't even say the same thing. We're doing similar things in different ways, making a huge impact, and we reach more people.
Right.
We increase awareness, we increase the wealth, we increase the abundance, the knowledge, and just the energy. Like, I love, he has a hashtag vegan ties. Like, I love that. Like, everywhere you go, you should be touching down, you know, putting in the city. And to be honest, the collaboration, to me, I started this business, and interesting that I'm here because I actually started my relaunch today. And I'm going through that process, and I really started this business, like, you know, I don't know if I can say it, like a drug dealer, you know, like, you know, just really trapping. And so that is a skill set that has helped me because I applied the hood rules to everywhere I went. So when I would go to Houston, I would go to Houston and go to these different vegan restaurants, and I'm dropping a bag in there. Why? Because if I was a drug dealer, you don't go to someone else's hood and don't check in.
True.
How do you go over here and these people are operating in the hood and they don't know you? You haven't spent any money. You haven't told nobody you was coming into town. You haven't checked in. That's what you're supposed to do. So every city, I've built these relationships because I've respected the rules of the hood, and I've just taken that to every single hood, whether that be New York, whether that be Mexico, Barbados, South Africa, wherever. I'm going to the different vegan spots. I'm talking to the owner. I'm having conversations, and, you know, I'm checking in. So those collaborations are important because everybody's going to cover a different space, and we can cover that together and do so much more good because together. You might know, like, you might know, okay, this is who I can go to, for example, to get some funding to do whatever type of events you want. But while you know that, you might not know that ChatGPT will write you the pitch deck, and you don't have to do it for yourself. So you put me on like, oh, it's easy money over here. Oh, it's easy money. Let me show you an easier way to get to that money that I didn't even know that resource was accessible.
Right.
To me, that's the point of the collaboration. Right. So we're all bringing something different to the table.
I love that. One thing you mentioned about trapping, y'all vegans, y'all be trapping. Y'all be hustling in a positive way. Like, this chef, this lady right here, she's always on tour. Like, I'm so happy that you had time for me today.
Yeah, because I definitely leave for Atlanta on Thursday.
That's what I'm talking about. This lady is all over. Like, she's always in another city. I'm so happy. Catch me if you can. I'm so happy that you're here.
Somebody said that to me. They was like, something they asked me about, was I in Miami? I was like, no, I'm in Thailand. They was like, you're always somewhere else. I was like, leave me alone. And I'm going out of the country for 2 months at the end of the year. Yeah.
Really?
I need a break, child. I'm tired. It took me 10 months to get here, but I'm tired.
Oh my gosh. Like, y'all really be hustling. I love it. Like, y'all, the plates be everywhere.
It has to be. It has to be. You have to get it to the people. And I also say that in a sense of that's, you know, what has the respect too. For example, when I go to Houston, shout out to Mo Better Brews, is one of my favorite vegan.
I want to go there.
Girl, one of my favorite vegan restaurants. Chef Courtney, he's absolutely amazing. And not only is he amazing business owner and chef, he's an amazing human being. I truly, truly love his energy. And anytime that I've gone to the city, I've gone not only, and I'm supporting, when I come to you one time, it's because I'm supporting. You a black brother. I want to see what I want to see you doing something. You vegan. You see me multiple times in there. It's because it's good. And every time I'm in Houston, that brother gets a good amount of my money. But every time I'm in Houston and I'm selling plates, he comes and gets plates for his family. He'll like, hey, you know what? Let me get 2-3 plates. You know what I'm saying? He'll come and be like, oh, Sunny's here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and, touch up her bill like this. He comes get something from me. Hey, take these extra mac and cheese for the boys. Take this for these babies at home. You know what I'm saying? Kiss them babies for me. But that's because I came through with the respect first.
Right.
I came through like, let me check in.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be one of the best vegan restaurants. Let's see what's good. Let's see what's going on. And let me tap in. So yeah, no, we do be hustling and we do be everywhere. But that's the point. Building those relationships, I won't say that's the only thing that matters, but it's one of the best things. And that's some business advice. If I could just, if I can do business advice real quick. Okay. Do business advice. I'm looking at the camera. 2 best pieces of business advice. This is exclusive. I never said this in nobody's podcast before. This is exclusive. Best business advice I can give. Well, I'm going to give you 3.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 3.
We're listening.
Okay. Number 1, leap and the net will appear. Leap and the net will appear. There is never a right time to start. A lot of times people want to start a business. They're like, oh, I can't start because I don't have a logo. I don't have a website. I don't have a this. I don't have a that. And I have told this story before, but never on a podcast. When I first started, before I made the oxtail, my flagship product was a smack and steak, which I made a vegan steak product, kind of like what Beyond Meat has. And so, girl, no tea, no shade. Your girl was doing it years before. But I used to make this vegan steak product. I didn't have a logo. I didn't have none of that. I didn't even have a solid recipe, but I just knew I had something good that nobody else was doing. It was soy free. I went to, what's that place called? Office Depot. I got those sticker labels. I wrote on there, the ones when you go to conferences, hi, my name is. Yeah. I wrote on there in Sharpie, smack and steak. Hi, my name is smack and steak. I put the little flavors that I had. I used to do teriyaki, barbecue, jerk, and East African Berber or plain. Those were the flavors that you could get from me. And I used to sell it for $10 a pound. And I used to drive around Atlanta selling it. And I went to Plant-Based Pizzeria. Shout out Plant-Based Pizzeria. They gave me my first B2B business deal. I went in this man's establishment while people was waiting for their pizza, and I started handing out samples.
Wow.
And so he came out like, what's
going on?
I said, hi, my name is Sunny Smeeks, and this is Smack and Steak. It is the best soy-free meat plant substitute that you have ever had, that you never heard of. And he said, well, let me taste it. He said, because what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm handing out samples to the customers. He said, well, let me taste it. He tasted it. He said, can you have 10 pounds here tomorrow? Just like that.
Yeah.
Leap and the net will appear. I didn't have a logo. I didn't have a website. I didn't have proper packaging. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any business acumen. I was just starting out. And that man was like, this is good. All I knew was that I had something good that I didn't think anybody else had, and I believed in it. Leap and the net will appear. Do not wait to start. Second business advice, people don't buy your product or service. They buy how you make them feel.
Yes.
So people always remember how you make them feel. I tell people all the time, people do not come to my page for my food. They come for my personality. They stay because the food is good. The video that I had that went viral, the DuckTales, that I'm not cooking anything. I'm not eating anything in that video. None of that. That video has almost 7 million views on Instagram, almost 1 million views on TikTok, and it is all personality. People buy how you make them feel. So all you have to do is make people feel good, be invested and provide value, and they will spend money with you. And you continue to make them feel good, and they will continue to spend money with you. Last piece of business advice, and then there's the last piece that I can give y'all for free. Again, my Cash App is $Sunni, SUNNI, Speaks, SPEAKS. You are never broke until you run out of network. Money is a tool to access a resource. If you can access the resource, you don't need the tool.
Yes.
You are never broke until you run out of network. That is why building relationships are so important. Because now, for example, if I want to go to Houston and do a vegan sexy party, no, Chef Courtney probably isn't going to let me use his restaurant because Saturday is a big money-making day. But he can say, hey, here's 5 other people who have a venue, art space, yoga studio, some type of gallery. This place has a kitchen. My homeboy has an Airbnb. Here's 5 leads that would have taken up 3 hours of your time to figure out and find to be able to hold and host your venue.
Yeah.
For whatever it is that you want to do. You never broke until you run out of network.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you mentioned about your celebrity, right? So
I didn't say that. You said that.
She's a celebrity.
Don't get in.
I have a celebrity in the blue chair, honey. Okay,
I know. With ashy ankles and a hood tattoo on their calf.
That's fine. That's fine. So are you familiar with Keith Lee?
I love Keith Lee. Keith Lee, please try my oxtail. Let me look in the camera.
Come on my podcast.
Keith Lee
right
looking
here.
at this one. Keith Lee. Yes. You don't even have to buy it. I know you're going to buy it, but buy it, try it, and rate it 1 through 10. Keith Lee, please try my oxtail. It will change your life. I'm obsessed. I love his page, his channel. I love everything that he does. Like, I've cried watching his channel. Like, his reviews are so good. I literally love Keith Lee. I actually did, when I did my content video, I did a oxtail pizza, like the oxtail pizza after he tried cuts and slices, and I tagged him to it. If you ain't see it, that's okay, stink a butt. No.
So do you feel like celebrities should use their celebrity when they go to like establishments or restaurants? Do you think, because you say you go to restaurants and you show love, like you'll pay for your food. You think
I prefer to not, if y'all can cut a deal,
So you're okay with using your celebrity to get like free food?
I'm okay with it, but I do agree with Keith Lee in the sense of, if you are giving me this because you are expecting me to give you a good review no matter what, then no, I will pay for it.
I agree with that.
Now, what I will say, my personal practice, and this is just my personal practice, I do my absolute. Now, Keith Lee and I are in 2 different spaces, because he solely does like food reviews and stuff, and I do cooking and reviews. Now, if you are, you know what I'm saying, a small like Black owned business and I don't like the food, I do my best. I'll never tag and be like, oh, this was like da-da-da. Unless it was just like, it was that. Mostly, to be honest, I will do that if I have a bad customer service experience. And let me say this, I'm gonna look, what's the camera again? This camera?
This one.
To Black people, give us a chance to fix it. A lot of Black-owned small businesses, and this is not just restaurants, this is businesses overall, don't have the budget to have a research and development team or a research and development consulting firm. Give us a chance to fix it before you get online and say you had,
bad reviews.
Yes, give a bad review.
Yeah.
DM me, email me or whatever. And I said, and I've had people be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I've had a, not so good experience, and I'm going to fix it. Let me tell you something. And this is something that I think small owned businesses, not just Black owned business, you have to learn how to give up the quarter to get the dollar. And the reason why I say that is like the example that I gave earlier with Publix. Publix will let me return anything because I'm taking my Black ass back in there to buy whatever. The same reason with the lady who they'll let her get the bread every week because she's not just here for bread. She's gonna get a steak, she's gonna get rice, milk, whatever else she's getting her, because she's coming in there every Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're losing $2 and getting Publix groceries high. They're probably getting $60 out of this woman. And so they really made $58. They've lost $2. It's worth it.
They know she's going to come back.
Because I'm consistently going to get your $58 every week when you buy whatever your groceries are. Learn how to give up the quarter. I tell people all the time, I am the Chick-fil-A, the Starbucks of customer service. You have a bad experience, I'll give you everything but probably my kidney. And that's just because I had a good time at FAMU, and I don't know, what is it, your liver that get messed up? Your liver. I don't know if it's no good, boo. But I will give you anything short of an organ to shut your ass up. I don't want nobody to ever get online and be like, I had a bad experience with Sunni Speaks. My food wasn't this, that, or whatever. But I will say, like I said, give us an opportunity to fix the problem. Send an email, call back and say, hey, my food was cold, or it was, not what I expected, and whatever. You dealing with somebody like me, I'm going to give you your money back, and I'm going to give you another plate. I have an example. This girl ordered oxtail from me in Houston. And if you don't keep up with global warming, we everywhere, but particularly Texas, has had record high summers, right? So she ordered oxtail. I shipped it to her. She was like, yo, when I got it, it was hot. Like, I don't think this is safe to eat. I'm so sorry about that. Let me rectify the situation. I'm going to send it to you again. Send it to her with dry ice. The dry ice melted. She had the same issue again. It was still overheated. So she was just like, you know what? I'm so sorry. Can I just get a refund? I said, no problem. I gave her a refund, all that. I think like within the coming month or so, I ended up being in Houston. I messaged this girl. I said, hey, I'm so sorry about the situation, but I'm in Houston. Allow me to make up for it. This is what I'm selling today. I was selling plates. I said, I have oxtail plate. Can I bring you a plate or whatever? She was like, yeah, I would really appreciate that. And mind you, she said she live in Houston. Sis ain't live in Houston. You know what I'm saying? She's in the suburb situation. It's like a 52-minute drive. I drove 52 minutes, gave her the plate and gave her the original oxtail that she ordered. Plus, I had already given her money back and shipped it to her twice. Now,
that's customer service.
People will say like, well, that will put you in a deficit. Not more than losing her as a customer, because it's 9 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to lose her. That's why you see like Pantene Pro V coming out with the relaxed and natural and all that stuff, because when Shea Moisture came out, they started losing a lot of Black clients who were only using Pantene Pro V, you know, all of these different companies that are, you know, owned by whatever. It's more expensive to try and get a customer back. Yeah, to acquire a new customer than to keep the customer you always have. Because some people are just brand loyal. They're just like, hey, I grew up on Dove, I'm going to keep buying it. I always eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's no reason for me to switch or see no other brand. So I'm just going to keep going with that brand. I want you to always have that. And word of mouth, regardless of what Instagram is, word of mouth is not only still the fastest type of marketing, but it's the best because you trust your friends. So if somebody brings up my name, your name is going to enter a room before your feet do. See, y'all got me preaching in here. Again, my Cash App is $ Sunni, SUNNI, and then speaks. And I don't know if it's because my phone's on Do Not Disturb, but I ain't seen a jang, not a lang come through there. We happy to get the kind that jingles, rather get the kind that folds. But people will talk about your business and they trust their friends. So they have a really good experience. What do? The same thing. It's just like with, you're going to be like, if it's really good, you're going to be like, girl, my bite, he done had me in the buck. I was upside down in the pretzel. I ain't even know my thing could do this. You're going to do the same thing. When you have really good food, you're just like, oh my God, I got to call somebody. I got to post this. I got to tell somebody how good this food was. The same if you have really horrible food. You're going to call your friend and complain. You're going to post it online. It's the same thing. And everything else just falls in. If you just have a regular meal, you're not going to tell nobody. You have a regular customer service experience. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, that was good. I had some chicken and some rice and some beans and it was straight. So that your experience, I need people, anytime my name is being mentioned, I needed to be like, hey, you know what? I did order X, Y, and Z. Because what could that girl say? She'd be like, I ordered it. It was bad. She sent it again. She came and brought me a plate that I didn't even have to cook and gave me food to put in
way to accommodate her.
What can she say negative about me? What can she say negative about my brand or about my business? My goal is to make it so that everyone's experience is like that. I'll send it to you again. You know what I'm saying? I'll send it to you again. We'll figure it out. You want to wait till the winter? You want your money back? You know, and I'll ask people too, what do you want? And I say, hey, and I actually give people the option. I say, hey, I'm gonna, do you want your refund via Cash App? You want it via Shopify? Shopify gonna take a couple days. Cash App, you can get it right now. What do you want to do? I'll take a screenshot, attach it to the email, and boom.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because I don't want you to never have nothing bad to say about my business is my baby. I don't have any biological children. My business is my baby. You wouldn't let somebody talk bad about your kid, right?
Right.
I don't want nobody talking bad about my business.
I love that. That's true. So speaking of Keith Lee, do you feel like regular people are qualified to do like food critics? I mean, food reviews?
Yeah, I think the whole conversation with the Keith Lee thing and saying like, oh, did he go to culinary school and is he qualified? I don't think that has anything to do with it. You know if you like food or not. And I think the thing about him is he consistently provides the disclaimer of, I didn't like it, or I'm not a texture person, or I'm not a sweets person.
Yeah,
this is why I don't like it. This is why, you should try it or whatever. Yeah, because you know what you like. Now because in truth, like he told you, he's a regular person. He just happens to have 15 million followers on TikTok. Yes. But he's a regular person. He's like, I go home to my wife every day. I put my pants on one leg at a time. But I'm just a regular person. And I think I'm a regular person. Like you say, like I'm a celebrity and all that stuff. Like, yes, in that sense, I go out and more easily get recognized with people, if I'm in the grocery store or whatever. Sure, but I'm a regular person. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I wake up every morning and, say my prayers, do whatever I got to do. I'm trying to escape capitalism and poverty just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
Like Outcast said, you know what I'm saying? You'll move your feet, then I don't eat. So we like neck to neck. I'm a regular person too. The fact that I have 57,000 followers on Instagram is just me being it didn't come from anything that's fake. I could always cook. I was always funny. All I did was just start posting it. Even with the DuckTales video, that was something I would do in a normal. I was at Trader Joe's because I go to the grocery store every day. I'm at Trader Joe's every day. I happened to see these ducks begging, and I was just posting what I would have done normally, which was I would normally gave them some bread, found out bread wasn't good, found out what was good, went in the grocery store and got it. I'm just a normal person. I would have just posted it. That's it. That's the only difference. That I didn't do anything that was abnormal to my daily life.
Okay. So earlier you spoke about having a nut allergy.
What? Oh shit!
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna pivot. We're gonna shift. So regarding
when you said that, it's so funny. I don't know what we can say on here. That's one of my things.
What's your thing?
That's one of my fetishes.
What's that? Swallowing?
Well, yeah, I feel like spitters are quitters.
You did mention, I seen you posting your stories.
Don't be no quitter. Finish the job.
Do you only swallow vegan?
Girl, you got to find a vegan first.
So you're okay with non-vegan?
I never said that. Don't, PETA. I didn't say that.
Oh, PETA's watching.
Yeah, no, I never said that.
So you're open to dating non-vegan men?
Oh, girl. I just might die single if I don't.
Okay.
What's your stance on it?
I agree. It's slim pickings with vegan men.
Yeah.
Especially here in South Florida.
I don't think it's a South Florida thing. I think it's regular.
But you be everywhere, so you're on different, you travel. I'm just here.
Oh yeah, I do travel. But I think, to be honest with the vegan men thing, I feel like in general, let me say this. I feel like in general, the pickings is slim.
Okay.
What's available? What's available that's not crazy.
Okay.
Don't have 45 baby mamas. Not misogynistic. Don't want them to take care of you financially because, South Florida, can't say that. Negroes, coloreds. They be looking for their mama that they could sleep with.
Oh no.
It sounds weird, but yeah, so you got that. You're not homophobic, you're not transphobic, you're not on no weird stuff. You're not gonna make me feel weird about being vegan. So just to get to that point, and then also to ask you to be vegan, I feel like it's a needle in a haystack type of situation.
You want them to be vegan?
The last person that I dated seriously, they weren't vegan, but they didn't care as long as they didn't have to cook, which was easy because all I do is cook.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. They were vegan while we were together.
Right.
And so I'm okay with that.
That tends to happen.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think you outright being it, that would be a blessing.
Yeah.
But that, and then when it comes to the vegan, then they gotta, all the things I said before, plus you need to be in therapy. Can't be no hotep.
Oh, I was thinking
sewing your own clothes and stuff.
Oh no.
Oh, you like hotep?
No, I was thinking,
You also can't put the hoe in hotep. That part too.
Okay.
And then, you know, people like to be fake married. They're like, oh, this is my African queen. And I don't, please, sir.
No.
Yeah. That'd be stressful.
Wait, let me ask you, because you're like a food expert to me.
Ooh.
So is it true that asparagus makes the cum taste bad? Like it's an off-putting taste? And I know I heard pineapple juice makes women's taste sweeter.
I don't know about the asparagus. Asparagus does change the scent. It's very strong. It's strong enough to change the scent of your urine.
Okay.
So assumably because that comes out of the same hole, it could. I don't know. I haven't done my research in the field on that particular vegetable. Pineapple does work for ladies, but my go-to is okra.
Really? For women or men?
Women.
Really? What does it do?
Okra make that thing.
Thank you.
No bill formed against you shall prosper.
Really? How should I prepare the okra?
You're interested?
I am.
Oh, actually just soak it in water and drink the okra water after an hour, like an hour before you get to do that. It's a full-on water park.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a natural lube? Lube? Wow.
Oh, yeah. And then coconut oil is a natural vegan edible lube.
I heard that, but I'm scared.
Of what?
Putting oil on?
It's coconut oil.
Have you tried it?
What? And now to a commercial break.
No, I'm just scared. I don't want no reactions or nothing like that.
I guarantee it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so now we're going to get to this part. It's a game.
Oh.
And you had posted it one time.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
And I had kind of felt away because...
Don't go back to what I posted because I post everything. You never know. You're going to see asses shaking, vegan broccoli, free Palestine, breastfeeding mothers. You don't know what you... Y'all be surprised. I'd be surprised.
You posted a vegan unpopular opinion and you were coming for my cauliflower, and me and cauliflower go together real bad. What is your angst against cauliflower?
I don't have an angst against cauliflower.
Okay, so name some vegan unpopular opinions. Like for me right now, I'm not like, I used to drink kombucha, but would you catch me drinking kombucha now? Probably not. It wouldn't be the first drink I'll grab. So for me, like I'm okay off kombucha. So what are a few like...
Maybe because you overdid it. I know like year 3 for me of being vegan, I was over smoothies. Like I would not drink a smoothie. Yeah, I would not drink a smoothie. I wouldn't buy one. Because smoothies and oatmeal, I wore those out. Like my first 2 years being vegan, I didn't really... I think just egg hadn't been invented yet. I really didn't know what to eat for breakfast other than like just pancakes and stuff. And like I said, you know, we live in capitalistic America. So it's not like... me personally, I wouldn't say we don't have time to eat a full breakfast in the morning. I'm not a morning person. So before I quit my job and became a full-time chef, culinary genius, and expert and all that,
period,
I was a teacher. I have a master's degree in education. A lot of people don't know
she
that.
real smart.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me. Because
what you got from FAMU?
Oh, no, from FAMU, my bachelor's is in sociology and African studies.
Nice. Where'd you get your master's?
It doesn't matter. It's not FAMU.
Period. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you're real smart.
Yes. So I used to be a teacher. So, you know, having to be at work at 7:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, like I just used to smoothie. Like, oh, I'm going to have a smoothie. I'm going to have a smoothie. And I was done. And I was like, when I tell you I was into the smoothies, like all the things like sea moss, spirulina, green powder, beet powder, like all of the whatever you're supposed to put, ginger. My smoothies was like how my salads are. You've had my salad. My smoothies was like that. Like I would take 20 minutes to make a really good smoothie.
Wow.
I can't go for that.
No.
Yeah. So I wasn't doing that no more.
Okay. So where do you see yourself like with your vegan endeavors? Where do you see yourself like long term, like in the next 5 years? Or where do you want to see yourself? Do you want like a restaurant, a brick and mortar, a food truck?
No.
Like what do you want?
In a perfect world, and I actually was just talking about this last night.
Let's manifest it.
Yes, let's manifest it. I would love my own vegan cooking show.
Yeah.
I want my own vegan cooking show, and I would love to continue to, my perfect world would be doing my own vegan cooking show, having my vegan retreats, which we do have a retreat coming up in March. Y'all should come in Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
And I just like covering these gap areas, right? So even when you think about retreats, if you go to, you know, a straight turn up retreat that's on a resort and it's like unlimited alcohol and all that stuff, then there's no food for us. And then when you go on a vegan retreat, it's nom yo horenge kyo, and I am a hoe, but I'm here for shots. You know what I'm saying? Like when I want to do the sound bowls and all that and yoga and everything. When the sun go down, it's shot o'clock.
Yeah.
Like I'm here for the turn up too. You know, I am that kind of vegan. So we are having a retreat that's coming up in March. I'm throwing with Miss B.
Yeah.
So it would be that. It would be doing the retreats, doing that, and the vegan sexy parties. I
need to come to one.
You slipping.
I need to come.
You gonna come to the one in February?
I would love
10th?
to.
Yes, come February 10th.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. So yeah, I love doing that because it's a single use menu. We never do the same menu twice.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. So we've done, I think, 11 parties at this time.
Nice.
Never done the same menu. Like you might have similar elements, but never the exact same dish because it's based off of the ethnicity of the people in the city and the historical elements of the city. So the last one we did here in Miami was a love letter to the Caribbean. So every single course represented like different Caribbean islands and like their national dishes and just infused, made vegan and elevated to a new level. So that would be my life. That would, and the cooking demos too, which ties into having a cooking show. But I love doing the cooking demos. I did some over the summer, did a all black summer camp for the kids. We made a vegan pizza. I do have a kids book, Stony the Vegan. So we read the book. We made the pizza out of there. Nice. The next day we made nachos. The day after that, I made them lunch. I made them beefaroni, and then we all made banana pudding together, all vegan. Nice. So the kids got to learn about that and learn, you know, what a vegan is, what options are available to them. So I love doing those different demos, and I've been traveling all year long doing that. That's why it's so funny when people are like, oh, you travel, you do this. I'm like, yes, but I'm working. Like work travel.
You stay working.
Yeah. You didn't have to do that. It's the way you said it.
But I love
you
it.
Said
and
like you was like,
I admire you. I admire it.
Like I'm your man. Like your man always
you busy. Like, you never home.
Listen,
you
never
always
not
out
working.
of town.
Never home. Always repping though.
Yes. So you have your vegan retreat, you have your relaunch.
Yes.
You have the relaunch. You have the kids book. What else can you plug?
Oh, what else can I plug? Kids book. We have the retreats. We have the vegan sexy parties. We have the content. We have the brand partnerships that's coming.
Ooh, nice.
The bigger events, you're going to see more elevated dinners. You're going to see more events in the coming future. You're going to see more books with this relaunch. You're going to see literally amazing new photographs. I just felt like it was time. Like, I feel like everyone knows how good my food is, and now it's time to look like it. It's time for people to really see me in that space. And that's what I realized why the vegan sexy party exists. It's not just about cooking. It's not just about veganism. It's about filling those gaps and really taking veganism to a new level that people have never seen before. When I came up with the vegan sexy party, it was like, you know, we deserve to have an upscale, elevated vegan dining event. People weren't doing dinner parties like that when I started the vegan sexy party. Like where could you literally be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and get a vegan 5-course meal with chocolate covered cherries and mimosas, and you have the option to THC infuse any horse that you want with a meal with party games and a host. No one else was doing that, but you had that in other spaces. Like you could pay, you know, $400 and go and get an elevated dining experience where, you know, a top chef would cook for you. But what options would you have as a vegan?
Right.
There wasn't anywhere for vegan foodies to go.
Yeah.
And so that's why I felt like it was so important to, you know, to do that, because as vegans, like, and this is no tea, no shade to anybody, but it's like, yo, like if we go to Cheesecake Factory or something like that and it's a vegan option, like, everybody else eating center cut pork chops and meat. Why do I got to eat a burger? I got my Sunday clothes on.
Yeah.
You got me eating like it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Like I want to have a nice meal where it's not just we threw a burger on the menu so we can get your dollar, where you are dedicated and invested in my dining experience, and you've cultivated the menu as such.
Yes. Speaking of Cheesecake Factory, it recently went viral. This girl went on a date. Well, she didn't go on a date, but this guy took her to the Cheesecake Factory and she didn't want to come out the car. And then a list went viral of a list of like places that you shouldn't go on a first date. Does that apply to vegans?
Yeah, I think yes. To me, honestly, when I saw that list, the funny part to me about that list was that I wouldn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory, not because it's like, oh, it's saying that the guy is broke.
Mm-hmm.
One, as a vegan, there's limited options. So to me, that says that you didn't think about my experience. And then two, even if I was not vegan, I'm a foodie, and it's Cheesecake Factory. No tea, no shade.
But no, like you said, they just throw something on there and say vegan option.
Yeah, like when I first started eating vegan at Cheesecake Factory, they didn't even have like vegan mayo. They didn't have vegan cheese. It was just the Impossible Burger. You had to switch out the bun for like, I think the gluten-free bun or something like that. They didn't even have anything. So it was just like, there's no thought process in it. I don't want to go here. And now you literally have the whole entire menu, and I have like 4 things that I can eat. That doesn't seem fair to me. That doesn't seem like something I want to be a part of. But to me, it's like, but like I said, I'm food bougie, like, and I preference with saying that, like I'm food bougie. So I preference with saying that, like, literally for me, food is an experience. So no, I don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory because I can go to Cheesecake Factory anytime in any city. Like, if we're going somewhere, even here, even in South Florida where I live, like I want to go to some, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, it doesn't, I think the thing is, it gets into be a money conversation, but it doesn't have to be like this $1 million thing. But I want to go to, you know, it could even be a hole in the wall where there's some new chef trying out some menu, art activation type.
You're about the vibe, the experience.
Let's do a speakeasy. Like, let's do something cool. Like, there's someone who's doing, I don't know, Haitian and Japanese mixed food, whatever. Like, let's try some new, like, no, you know what I mean? I don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. I don't want to go to Applebee's. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And then to me, it's like, well, if you're saying the first date technically is like for us to get to know each other, how are you going to get to know what I even like? And you're taking me to the same place you take every other girl on first date.
That's true.
That was Trump's.
That was true. Well, it was such a pleasure having you.
Did we get to the nasty questions already?
You want to go?
I thought that's where we were going. You get so uncomfortable in your seat.
No, you make me nervous.
I've done nothing but sit here this whole time.
It's your presence, your aura. It's just everything. You make me nervous.
To my ass so fat, you can see it from the front.
Oh.
Bend that ass over. Make that breathe.
Oh.
Bend that ass over. Hands on your knees.
Oh. We're not going to get copyright, right?
Oh, shit. Cut it.
Oh. Okay.
Put it on the editing room floor.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, we mentioned earlier the coconut oil.
Uh-huh.
Like, are you into like, wait, what?
No, I was going to ask, do you feel like your sex has gotten better since you become vegan?
That's a good question.
My shit is out of control.
Really?
Yeah. I got to keep it off the streets. It's Reagan era crack cocaine there trying to keep this off the streets. It's bad. It's real bad.
That's a fabulous question.
I'm in the possession of a super soaker at all times. The tingles.
I can say I feel like, but people say it's because of my age, but I feel hornier.
Bruh, I thought too, because they say like once you get in your 30s, this is hot and ready.
Yes.
It's ready.
Yeah.
It's ready.
Yeah. I don't know.
I heard the 40s are worse, and I'm like,
really?
I can't take much more of this. Because you got good ass coochie and nobody give it to.
Oh.
You know, coochie like milk, it'll go bad. You don't give it out. It's expire on you. The fact you can Google.
What makes vegan coochie good?
First of all, the flavor. The flavor. Like, you're not tasting that you are what you eat, literally. Like, you're not tasting like dead animals and all that other stuff. And that'd be the thing, too. Like, you know, people were like, oh, I want to squirt. You only drink Hennessy and Chick-fil-A lemonade. Where's the water coming from, sis? I'm asking an honest question. You gotta drink, like, you have to drink water. You gotta be on top. I pride myself in coochie care. Like, the products that I use.
Only vegan products in
yes.
the coochie
So
area?
I use honey pot soap. I have a yoni oil that I use from Sexual Essentials that has, I don't know, some type of herb stuff in it. But that they be seasoning that coochie down to the vegan gristle, honey.
Really?
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you gotta tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. It's bomb.
Are there like vegan like aphrodisiacs and stuff? Like,
oh, yeah. That's for another episode. We
can't get in?
Sweet potatoes, actually.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Steam baked?
Spicy foods, too. Yeah. Spicy foods help, guys, because it helps with circulation and blood flow.
Oh, it helped the guys.
Watermelon for guys, too.
Really? Oh, yeah. I heard there's like a natural Viagra or something. My uncle told me that. Okay.
It's like a baby's arm.
Really?
Strong.
Oh, no, I just heard that their stamina is just not up to par.
Can I say?
Say it.
Vegan stamina.
Ooh, yes. They like the Energizer Bunny. They keep going and going.
Listen,
that
the vegan stamina.
Yes.
That vegan stamina.
Yes.
Y'all need to stop eating these cheesesteaks and shit for real.
Yeah, no, that is so true.
Because I'm telling you,
busting
when y'all
nutting you out, no, not over here.
Let me tell you, and they keep going, like
going.
They be like, yeah, I need like 4 minutes.
Do you get tired as a vegan woman?
I'm not gonna lie. Normally, no, but this summer I tore my meniscus, and so I can't really like how I want to. But no, like,
is that your favorite? You started?
Fuck no, hell no. Girl.
What's your favorite?
Oh, missionary with my legs up and
really
choked,
missionary.
Yeah,
you like being choked,
bitch. Love. If you choke me and stroke me, you might as well think of baby names. Immediately. And I don't want no kids, but are we gonna like, is it gonna be like Obatala Babatunde, or is it gonna be like Jerome Babatunde? We're gonna do half hood, half Africa. What is it? I think of the names.
Is there any food or anything in the bedroom, or you don't need any food?
I don't normally do the whole.
I know that people like chocolate syrup and all that stuff.
No, I taste good enough.
Whipped cream. Oh, you don't need any add-ons.
No, I taste good enough.
Okay. I love that for you. What they say it tastes like?
Excellence. Excellence.
I love that.
Alkaline. Water. Yeah. Don't have no flavor.
No flavor. Straight water.
Sugar water.
Sugar water.
The sugar walls?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, girl. Sugar walls. Love come down.
Okay, Chef Sunni, where can the people find you?
You find me on the internet at Sunni Speaks Vegan, SUNNI, Speaks Like a Language Vegan, Sunni Speaks Vegan on Instagram, Sunni Speaks on TikTok, Sunni Speaks on Facebook, Sunni Speaks Vegan. Pretty much if you type that into Google, it's going to come up. You're going to find me. You're going to find my website, sunnyspeaksvegan.com. All the things you're going to find, all the lovely podcasts that I've been on. You can find me on the internet. I'm on Amazon. I'm in these streets.
Everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
Your visa's accepted, honey.
Yes. I'll be in Jamaica soon.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're going in November.
My first time. It's November.
Yeah.
I'm going what? In 17 days, I think.
Yeah. I love the lineup. I'm Jamaican. We're both Jamaican.
Yeah.
I love the lineup.
Are you going?
I wish. I asked my mom if I have any family in the area in St. Anne. Right?
Yeah.
She was like, no. So I was like, I don't know.
You should still go. I'm going.
Who you staying with?
I'll make you oxtail.
Who you staying with?
Do it matter?
Is 3 a crowd?
I don't know. You can stay with me. We figure it out.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Let's do that.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Are you happy you came?
Me. I'm always happy that I came.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for watching. And follow my Instagram at Conscious Cuisine Conversations to stay on top of the drop, because we don't know when this is going to drop, but you're going to want to watch this entire episode, honey.
Can I get like, because I'm sure this is going to go viral, can I have like 3 cents? I don't know what you're going to get off of this, but
you can have whatever you like.
You play too many games. Too many games. Oh, shout out Vegan Baddie. As you can see, my necklace, my
Yes,
earrings.
I
'cause I am a
love.
vegan baddie. Shout out Mood Junkie.
Period.
Diary of a Mad Black Vegan. Free my niggas in the hood. Free Palestine. Free Congo. Free Sudan. Who else getting it? Phil Free Ethiopia. Pimps up, hoes down.
Period.